Hello everyone. How is everybody today? Hopefully you guys are staying warm. Sounds like there's lots of chilly air in the world right now, so stay warm and join us here on our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for all coming in. We're going to be doing some fun kind of a Valentine's Day design today. I'll be using some of the products from our bundle deal, or one of the bundle deals that we've got on our sale right now. So I'm gonna I got my nails ready to go here, I think. Let me switch one more of these out just in case. And then I'm gonna show you some of the products that we've got on our sale. And that way you guys can see what great deals we've got going on. We are mic'd up. If you guys can't hear me, let me know. Moderators, let me know in the chat. I've got my mic in a different position today, so if it's good, let me know. If I need to move it, let me know that too. But hopefully you guys can all hear me pretty well. And we will get started in just a second here. Make sure my camera is where it needs to be. All right. All good? You guys can hear? Sound is good? Okay. And let me go ahead and grab all of my colors that I'm going to be showing you. Well, looks like some people say they can hear and some say they can't. So if you can't, all right, I'm seeing more people that say that sound is good than not. So if you can't hear, maybe exit back out of the app and come back in. Might be something on your end, but sounds like we are good to go from my end, hopefully. All right. So what I've got here today is one of our bundle deals. And if you haven't heard, we've got a great sale going on right now. We've got a whole bunch of different Valentine's products that are on sale right now. And let's see, somebody says, some say love, it is a river. Well, you guys, we got a river of great products that we're going through today. So what I've got in front of me, like I said, this is one of our bundle deals that we've got available for you. And let me get these situated here. All right, so this is our Slick Pour bundle that we've got, and it includes 6 of our different colors here. I'm going to show you guys those really quick in a second, but it has 6 of our colors, and then it also has the 6-ounce bottle of monomer. So you guys, our Slick Pour powders are actually technically a dip powder. You can see on the label it says dip powder, but they are really just an ultra fine acrylic powder. So all of these come together. You can use them with the monomer, or if you do choose to do a dip service, you can use them as your dip products. But we're going to be showing them today as the bundle with the liquid. And some of you guys are asking, how much is it? You guys, I'll tell you. I'll tell you. So all together, regular price with the 6 powders and the 6-ounce liquid, I believe the value of that is $87.65. But you guys, for our sale right now, we are selling this whole bundle right here for $35. So you guys, it is a huge deal. It is a great investment if you are looking for some really fun colors, not just for Valentine's Day, but kind of for your normal everyday. These are going to be some really good colors. So let me just swatch these out for you guys so you can kind of see what colors we're getting into here today. And let me grab my monomer. I've got a little bit of my leftover monomer here I'm going to use before I switch that out for our demo. So I'm going to grab our brush. All right. What should we start with? Let's start with, first one is Whitest White. So you guys, if you are doing pink and whites, this is going to be a great color for your pink and whites. This is a really, really bright white. So we're going to do a quick swatch of that. So if you like that really nice stark white, we've got that. And I'm putting this down onto my table towel here, you guys. I know it's white on white, so it's hard to tell, but definitely a bright white there for you. And I think somebody was asking, is this sale available for Canada? Yes, it is for US and Canada. For those of you who are from Canada, you can jump onto the website and scroll all the way to the bottom of our website. You guys, it's youngnails.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the website and you can change to Canadian. So go ahead and do that. Our second color in the bundle is Flash and Burn, and this is definitely one of my favorite all-time colors from our Slick Pour collection. It's just a really fun shimmery color. Let me grab a swatch of that. So it's a little bit of a softer white, kind of a softer white silver sparkle is what I'm going to describe that as. So you can kind of see as I move that pearl, kind of that shimmer in there, a little sparkle to it. So that is, again, that was Flash and Burn. Next one we got, I'm going to do one of the solid reds. So this one is Pasta Pasta. So if you guys are looking for a really good bright red, this is going to be your color. So this one is, again, just a solid color. No glitter in this one. So let me show you that up close. So again, really just a pretty bright red, going to be great for Valentine's Day or for any other, just kind of a classic red. And somebody's asking, where's your website? It's youngnails.com, and it looks like our moderators got that in there for you. And next color we've got is Baby Baby, which is just a very, very soft baby pink. It has just a hint of a shimmer to it. It's hard to see this one on camera with that shimmer, but hopefully you guys can see. I'm just gonna roll that one right off there. So let me come just a little closer in on that one. So again, just a really pretty, very, very soft pink, just a hint of shimmer to it. And again, I don't think you can really see that shimmer on camera, but you guys, this we do have swatches of all the colors and things on our website, so you can always check that out as well. And next one we've got is Desire Blitz. And you guys, any of the colors that have the name Blitz to them, those are going to be a glitter. So those are going to be all your good sparkly colors. So this one, I'm going to just kind of mix this one up a little bit, really combine that glitter into our acrylic powder there. This one definitely has that sparkle to it. This one, I actually kind of get that ruby. Oops, sorry guys, you guys actually want to see what I'm doing here. I kind of get a ruby slippers feel for this one. So it's got that really bright, sparkly red in there. Absolutely gorgeous on that one. And then our last one is probably one of my other favorites in our Slick Pour collection, and this is called Kitty Blitz. So again, having that blitz to it, it's going to have that sparkle to it. And grab a swatch of that. This one's kind of a pinky, tannish, nudish, kind of a different different sparkle to it. But all of these different colors together, all 6 of these colors are in one whole collection. And again, you guys, on our website, make sure you click on the Valentine's sale link so that you can find all of these great deals and all of this bundle. Okay. All right, so let's get into our nail now that we've swatched out our colors and you guys can see what we're going to be working with. And I am going to wipe out my brush there, clean that out, and I'm going to soak up my monomer here. I'm going to change that out because I was using this one for a little bit of practice and kind of ahead of time I was kind of working on some swatches here. So that I'm going to clean out so that I make sure that I have a really good clean monomer for when I do our nails. All right, so we've got that. Let's pour our monomer into our dish. We'll get that ready to go. And when I do pour my monomer, I actually will take my brush, touch my brush to the top of that bottle, and then I can just pour my monomer right down into my Dappen dish. By pouring it down the bottle, it keeps me from dribbling or spilling or anything down the bottle. So just a quick little tip for you guys. All right, I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to put my cork on my Dappen dish there so I don't spill anything. Set my brush off to the side here, and we are going to start by prepping our nail. Now I've got our nail set here and ready to go. Let me come in a little closer for you guys. Now when you're prepping your nail, whether it's on the trainer hand or when you're actually working on either yourself or your real clients, you always want to make sure that you go through and push back the cuticles. And I always tell you, even on your trainer hand, go through and kind of practice pushing back those cuticles. That way you start to get into the habit of that. So that way you're not going to forget to do that when you are on an actual real person. So whatever we practice on the trainer hands is usually what we end up doing on our real people. So always make sure you're going through all of those same motions. Now I'm going to switch out my sanding band. This is a medium grit sanding band, and I'm going to put on a brand new one. And you guys, we do have another bundle deal for our electric file. So if you're looking for a great e-file, we've got the bundle deal for this one. Let me see if I can pull this one into camera. And moderators, I can't remember off the top of my head the price on the e-file bundle. I know the price is $250 for the bundle, and I don't remember what the value is, but I think it's something, it's over $300, so you're going to get a good savings. But moderators, if you can put the price of the e-file bundle deal in the chat, I would appreciate that. But it does come with the e-file, so it's got the motor, it's got the handpiece. It is also coming with that mandrel, and then it also has a pack of 100 of these sanding bands. So this is going to get you a great start for your prep. It also is going to have in it, let me grab one of our other bits here. It's also going to have the ceramic cone-shaped bit. And you guys, this bit is a medium grit. Let me come in a little bit closer there. So this one, a lot of times you guys will see me use the X-cut for taking down bulk. Today I'm going to show you guys that the ceramic bit for taking down our bulk. Okay, so all of these bits, so that mandrel, the 100 sanding bands, and the ceramic bit, those all come in this bundle deal, all for $250, along with the e-file. So, yep, thank you, moderators. Our value on this is $393. You get it all for $250. So check that out on the website as well. You guys, some amazing deals here for you, either to stock up or to get you ready for Valentine's Day. All right, and I just dropped my little arbor band on the floor, so let me grab another one here. And always change these out. You always want to make sure that you're using a brand new sanding band, whether you're working on yourself, whether you're working on your practice hand, because a brand new bit is always going to have that great texture to it. If you're trying to use a bit that is kind of worn down, like this old one that I took off, you can see the difference. Let me come in a little closer here. You can see the difference between the brand new one that I have on there versus the one that's been used, okay? You always want to make sure that you're using a good new sanding band, all right? And somebody says, just get to it already. You're talking too much. You guys, I'm here to help teach you guys and educate you. So that's what we're here to do. And things are going to take a little bit longer because I do try to explain everything. But trust the process. We will get to a nail here, and I'm going to get started on our prep. So we've already gone through, pushed back the cuticles. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the shine. So I've got my e-file at about 5,000 RPMs. Just gently coming up around that cuticle area, removing the shine, and I'm just going to feather my bit all the way through the length of that nail. What this is going to do, this is going to break up the surface oils on that nail. This is how we are going to be able to remove the oils on the nail and get really great adhesion with our product. Okay, so again, just a quick, easy removing the shine. And then I'm going to grab my manicure brush. We'll dust off that nail. Let me come back out just a little bit here. So brushing off that nail, and I'm brushing in an up and down motion rather than a side to side motion. If you brush from side to side, all you're going to be doing is pushing that dust down into those sidewalls. So make sure that you're brushing with those sidewalls so that we brush and get all of that dust out of those edges. This is also going to help to clean out that dust out of that cuticle area. So make sure that you're really giving this nail a good dust before you actually go to your cleanser. If you just went right to your swipe to clean the nail before you brushed off all of that dust, it's kind of like when you were a kid playing maybe out in the sandbox. You throw some water into the sand and you make mud. That's kind of what's going to happen here. Is if we just go in with our cleanser and we don't dust off that nail first, it's not going to fully remove all of that dust, and you're going to get kind of a mud mixture on your nail. So that's why I say always dust off first, and then we can clean with the swipe. Now, swipe is, let me take a little pump of that on my brush. Swipe is, again, our cleanser. This is what's going to really help to cleanse and kind of pull the rest of that oily surface off of our nail. So it's going to dry out those oils. It's also going to clean off any germs, any bacteria, any contaminants that are on that nail that we don't want on our nail. Okay, so now you can kind of see that starting to dry back to that kind of dry, chalky surface. And that is exactly what we are looking for. We want to make sure that the nail is nice and clean and dry before we go on to our next step. Next step being protein bond. Now, protein bond works like a double-sided tape, or if you kind of think about it like an anchor, this is what's going to hold our product onto the nail. So I'm going to take, let me come back out just a little bit for you. So I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to lift it out of the bottle. I'm going to tap or kind of run that brush around the top. I don't want to just take that brush out fully loaded and slop it onto the nail. I want to make sure that I'm using this sparingly so that I don't get any of this up onto the cuticle or on the sidewalls or on the skin, okay? So again, I'm going to tap off some of that extra. I'm going to start in the center, work out to my sides, and again, this is so that I don't flood that product up into the cuticle or into those sidewalls, okay? I want to make sure that I'm just getting a nice an even coat on our nail, and I don't want to be flooding this on. Now again, if I were working on a full set, I would go through all 10 nails, put my first coat of protein bond on, and then I would come back and I'm going to put a second coat on. Now, when you're working with acrylics or hard gels, I always recommend doing 2 coats of protein bond. This is going to really give you that ensured adhesion, make sure that your product is going to adhere really well. Now, if you are just doing a regular gel manicure, only 1 coat of protein bond would be necessary. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and grab our forms. And you guys, you could use just kind of our standard blue forms, but today we're going to do just a little bit of a longer nail. So I'm going to be using our red and orange, kind of in honor of Valentine's Day. We got a little bit of red in there. So you can use these for your XL nails. You can also use them for your shorter nails, just a personal preference. But today I wanted to show you guys the red forms. So what I did, I just peeled that form off of the backing. I'm going to take that little tab out of the center. To me, it looks like a little dancing ghost. So we're going to put our little dancing ghost right on the back, kind of mirror one to the other. And what that's going to do, that's going to give our form a little bit more kind of stability. It's going to kind of firm up that form just a little bit. Okay. We're going to take that form. We are going to kind of roll that so that those 2 tabs, so these tabs here and these tabs here, meet together. So just kind of roll those together, secure those 2 tabs. Now I didn't pinch the form all the way, kind of crease it at all. I want to keep that nice curve in my form. Okay, I'm going to make sure that those are pinched nice and even. So now we've got our form. We're going to be doing, we're going to do a stiletto today. I'm going to say we're going to do a stiletto. I'm going to open up that little perforation up on the top. We're not going to be doing a crazy long stiletto, so I am going to pinch this form just a little bit shorter. And I think I'm going to pinch that to maybe about 7 or 8. So you can see on these forms, they've got the numbers on there and they've got the lines on there for you to have kind of a guide. So when you're working on your nails, you kind of can pinch that down. I think, like I said, I think we're going to go to about 7 or 8. And I think we're going to be good on that. So this is going to help you to kind of measure from nail to nail the length that you're going to start to create. Okay. All right, we're going to get our form right up underneath the nail. Now I'm coming from a slight downward angle. So kind of a slight downward angle, and then I'm just going to lift up on the end of that form. So this way, by getting it at that little bit of an angle and then lifting up, it's going to catch that free edge, and then it's going to come flush up underneath that nail. And then I'll secure that down on the sides. Now I want to make sure a couple of things. Do you see how it looks kind of wide on the sides? I'm going to actually come underneath that form and just kind of pinch that underneath to really make sure it kind of tightens up our C curve a little bit. Now I'm actually looking at this, and you guys can kind of see from the side. Do you see how my form is a little bit kind of pinched a little off? I'm actually going to grab a new form because I want to make sure that my form is nice and straight and even. And having that little pinch that's a little bit off, that's actually going to make my nail look not straight. So if that happens, just grab a new form. I'm going to grab another one here really quick. We'll do the same thing. Somebody's asking, what's the difference between the red and the blue forms? You guys, that's a great question. Let me show you. So ultimately, the main difference between the red and the blue forms is length. So if you are wanting to do just kind of a short, medium, maybe even a long nail, you could use the blue form. The red form is definitely for those XL nails. So those really long nails that you want to do, you can use those red forms to sculpt those out. Now, another thing with the red forms, let me show you here, or kind of a difference between the two, is you're going to notice the opening of that form is a slight different shape. So if we look from here, let me see which way I want to do this. I'm going to go this way. So if we compare those two openings, make sure these aren't sticking together, you'll see that the blue form, if I stick those together, the blue form, the opening on that one is a little bit more rounded, whereas the opening on the red forms is a little bit more kind of a V shape. I guess not quite a V shape, but it's a little bit more elongated. So the red forms are actually really good to use if you have a client that has an extended hyponychium. And what I mean by that, let's see if you guys can see. I know my nails are desperate for a fill here, you guys, so don't judge that. But I want you guys to see right underneath here. Do you see that skin right through here? That's my hyponychium. That's what connects my nail bed to that hard nail surface. And as my nails grow out, that hyponychium tends to grow out with my nail, and that's really just to support that extra length. You guys, normally my nails, my natural nails, if they're just this length, then my hyponychium doesn't really grow out very long. But the longer that natural nail and that longer that extension grows out, the more your hyponychium is prone to kind of growing out with that nail. So again, it's going to help to kind of balance and support that extra weight and extra length. So for somebody that has that extended hyponychium, using the red form is going to work really well because it's going to kind of fit right around that under the nail. So let me show you again really quick here. So if we were to put that form under my nail, you can kind of see as I were to put that form on, that form is going to fit flush up under there, but it's not going to poke down into the hyponychium. If I were to grab one of the blue forms and do the same thing, this form is actually going to kind of pinch down in or kind of poke down in to that hyponychium, and it could be sore or painful on that client's skin. So if you were to use these, you could customize them by, let me grab my little scissors here. You guys were going a little off track here, but this is important information for you. So I'm glad that somebody asked that question. But with the blue forms, you could take your scissors and just cut out a little notch and use that for somebody that's got that extended hyponychium. So that now is going to fit right around that hyponychium. But if I already have a form that has that done for me, I don't have to worry about customizing. So on this finger especially, I would definitely go with that red form. Even if I'm working on a shorter nail, you guys, you can always cut your forms shorter. So again, if I were to grab another form, if I were going to be using this form on a shorter nail, I would just take my scissors and just cut that form shorter. So now I don't have to worry about my form being extra long, but let me grab my other blue form here quick. So now they're going to be about the same length. So again, I could use the red form on a short nail or an XL nail, however you want to work with it. But again, looking at that opening to see what is going to fit my client best. And if I want to customize, I can customize. Otherwise, I don't have to. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit more insight as to which form to use, when to use it. But both forms are going to be great for those short, medium, and longish nails. But if you are doing the XL nails, you definitely want to be using the red forms. All right, let me grab my forms. And we'll get one more form up on there. Again, I'm going to take out my little dancing ghost. I know, you guys, it's goofy, but it entertains me. So it's our little dancing ghost. So I'm going to put that right on the back again. We're going to pinch our tabs together. Again, nice and evenly. Secure those together. And I'm going to pinch that form a little bit shorter because we're not going to be doing quite such a long stiletto. And then let's go ahead and get this up under our nail. All right, we'll get that up under there. Looks like a couple of people call it maybe a Yoda head. You guys, whatever you call that little tab on the back, whatever entertains you, I love it. That works. All right, so we got our form up underneath there, secured under there. We're going to kind of pinch that form a little bit tighter underneath, making sure everything is nice and secure. So now we've got a nice rounded tight pinch to our form. Now, if we take a look, I'm going to have you guys kind of take a look and see. Do you see how my form is actually just slightly angled downward? I want you to notice, I'm actually going to readjust that here. Let me readjust the camera just a second here. All right. So you guys, if you can see, do you see how the light reflects right through here? You see how that light kind of reflects here and then there's a shadow underneath? That's going to be your guideline for when you're sculpting out your extension. Okay, so I actually want to make sure that that's coming out nice and straight. So I'm going to lift up the end of my form just a little bit. I'm going to loosen that up just a little bit so that it's coming more straight out. There we go. So just that slight adjustment is going to bring that lower arch a little bit more straight out rather than it was kind of angling downward a little bit. Okay, so we got our form on there nice and straight. We are good to go. I think we're good from that angle as well. Whoops, sorry guys, bumped the camera there. All right, now I am gonna clip off the end of my form because I'm not doing an XL nail. I don't want the rest of that form in the way because sometimes as I'm working and applying my product, that extra end of my form can tend to get in the way a little bit. So I'm just gonna snip off that end, give myself a little bit of more working space, and then we can move on. All right, let me grab my monomer here. Again, we put fresh, clean, new monomer in there. I'm going to grab my little table towels. And you guys, the table towels that I'm using, the big ones that we've got on our table, I just take those and I cut them up into smaller squares. For me, it's easier because this way I have a little bit of a stack of them. So as I'm working, I can take off the used ones and then have always a clean space to wipe my brush on. All right, let's get into this nail because I know you guys are excited to see it. So I'm going to start with our Speed Clear. And Speed Clear is a really nice clear acrylic. It is our faster setting product. That's why we call it Speed. So we're going to use that. And we're going to start by creating our free edge. Okay, let me come in a little closer so you'll be able to see. So I'm going to pick up a pearl of our clear. I'm going to press, I'm going to bounce, bounce, bounce. I'm going to take that pearl, I'm going to drain that on my towel. The reason that I'm doing this is to bring this product to a little bit more of a clay form. And you guys, let me show you this really quick, what I mean by clay form. So if we were to just pick up our pearl, so let me pick up a pearl here. If I were to just pick up that pearl and set that right onto my nail, do you see how fast that product runs and it flows and it moves and it kind of gets out of control? Okay. If I were to come in, then I can kind of maneuver that, manipulate that. See how it's kind of sticking to my brush though? I'm going to clean that out. Now, when we're working on our free edge, I'm going to bring that product more to a clay form by draining out that extra liquid just for a couple of seconds there. And I'm going to set that onto my form. And now it's not going to run and move as fast. So I've got a lot more control of where I'm kind of sculpting and moving that product, especially this time of year, you guys. I don't know. Let me know in the chat who is in an area that is in a colder climate. Do you guys have colder temperatures right now? And I feel like a lot of people, whether they're normally cold, it's cold. It's cold, you guys. It is cold. So if you're working in a colder climate, working in a little bit more of this clay form is going to be much easier for you. If you're working more in that wet form, it's going to be running and flowing. You're going to be chasing it. You're going to be kind of moving it, manipulating it. You're probably going to get it stuck in your brush. So again, you guys, those of you, yep, looks like a lot of you are in that cold climate just like I am. But if you're working in more of that clay form, again, drain out that extra liquid. Then you can set that onto your form and you're going to have a lot more control of where your product is going. You can see it kind of softens a little bit, but I really have a lot more control as to how I can move my product. Okay. All right. Let's get into our extension here now that I've explained that for you guys, because sometimes it helps to explain it first, because as I'm actually doing the application, I'll tell you guys, sometimes things move quick and I can't always give you all of the explanation as I'm working. So let's grab our pearl here. I'm going to press, bounce, bounce. Again, I'm going to drain out that extra liquid. I'm going to set that right in front of my free edge, press that down. I'm going to wipe my brush out to clean out my brush. I'm going to use the fat part or the belly of my brush to press that product out so it's even from side to side. I'm going to use the edge of my brush to tuck in and then walk that bulkiness up to that free edge. Walk all the way across, use the edge of my brush, press that all the way up into that corner. So again, you guys, my room is still a little bit on the chilly side here. So my product does move a little bit, but I do still have more control of it now that I brought it to that clay form. Okay, I'm just going to start to bring that product down to the end of my form. Again, using the edge of my brush to tuck in those sides and the fat belly part of the brush to pull and press that product down the length of the nail. Okay, so again, just kind of blending that out, blending that down to the end. And I'm trying to keep my product fairly thin, so that's why I keep walking across and pressing across that nail. So this way it's going to keep my product nice and even consistency, even thickness all the way through that nail. Okay, just going to kind of blend out that end. So this way, again, we get that really nice thin taper all the way down to the free edge. Okay, all right. I think we are good with that. Looks good from the side. You can see where my lower arch is coming out nice and straight. And I did kind of use the lines on the form to help me kind of guide that. Same thing over here on the other side. But again, I was using the edge of my brush to tuck those sides in. Okay. All right, let's go to, you guys, we're going to create a smile line today. And smile lines are definitely tricky, especially in the winter. So we're going to make sure that our product is going to flow for us. So I'm going to be working with Baby Baby. And again, this is one of the colors from our Slick Pour bundle that's on sale right now. And what we're going to do with this, now you guys, before I do this, I'm going to show you again, because again, it's going to go quick once I put my product on. Now, when we were working on that free edge, we wanted to use our product in more of clay form because we didn't want it to run and flow. On this one, I actually do want my product to flow a little bit because I'm going to let the product do the work for me to create my smile line. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my pearl down. I'm going to angle the finger straight down. Okay. What's going to happen is my product, and I might help it kind of flow just a little bit, but my product is going to flow down the length of that nail, and it's actually going to form a smile line all on its own. Okay, so again, I'm going to just kind of let that flow for a second or so. Once that stops moving, when I lift up, you can see that product has already started to create a smile line for me. Okay, so I don't have to do a ton of work. Now I will come in and I will touch up the edges and kind of clean things up. But by just letting that product flow for me, I don't have to do a lot of work and I don't have to worry about it flowing, or like I don't have to worry about really sculpting in a smile line. Okay, so with that shown, let me come back to our nail. Now, the reason that I created a clear free edge to start with is because we're going to elongate our smile line. I'm actually going to bring my smile line down a little bit onto this form, and I like to have that layer of clear underneath so that I've got a nice smooth transition from my nail to that acrylic. If I didn't put that, that layer of clear underneath there, I would have kind of a ledge and a little bit of a drop down, so my smile line would kind of drop down, okay? So that's the biggest reason that I put that, that layer of clear down on my free edge first, okay? All right, let's come in here so you guys can see. I'm going to pick up my pearl. I'm going to press, I'm going to press, press, press. I'm going to just hold this for a couple of seconds just to kind of, and you guys, let me show you this. I love, this is kind of one of my favorite things because it didn't quite make sense to me until somebody really showed me this. So when you pick up your pearl, if you look at the surface of it, it's going to have the texture of an orange peel. Okay, do you see that? And then it melts out to more of that smooth pearl look. Okay. If you are working with your product, you want to wait for just those few seconds until it gets to that smooth pearl look rather than that orange peel look. And that's when you know it's the right time to place it onto the nail. Okay, so I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3. Right about 4 is when you're going to put that down. Now, you guys, there's a little something on there, little piece of fuzz that I don't want on my nail. So I'm just going to start that one over again. Okay. All right, one more time here. Let's pick up that pearl, hopefully a fuzz-free pearl. Grab that. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to set that onto the nail. And again, I'm going to angle that finger downward. I'm going to press out my cuticle area and let that product flow down the length of the nail. Now, as I'm letting this flow, I'm kind of keeping an eye on it to see where it's going. If I need to kind of maybe help it along, I can help it along. Or if I need to roll that finger from side to side to get that product to move from one side to the other, I can do that. Okay. And it looks like my product actually set a little bit faster than I was thinking. I think my room has kind of warmed up here a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just going to kind of use a little bit of pressure in the center to bring that product down onto my form. And then I'm going to use the edge of my brush to tuck in those sides. Okay. Now, you guys, again, temperature really does affect how your product is going to set and how it's going to flow and move. So you kind of have to keep those things in mind as you're working. So make sure, and a lot of times what I'll do before I actually work on a nail is I'll pick up a few pearls just to kind of see how they're reacting and see how they're flowing. And maybe I'll use a little bit more liquid or a little bit less liquid depending on how they're flowing. But at this point, again, I'm just kind of tucking in my sides, creating that really pretty smile line and really perfecting everything. Okay. Now, I do have a little bit of a low spot through that center because I pressed that product to bring it down the length of the nail. So I'm going to just pick up another small pearl just to kind of fill that in. Okay. So I'm going to fill that in, kind of blend that back. Now this one, I didn't drain out any of the liquid. Again, I'm just kind of letting this flow, bringing it down to the point that I've created. Now, I know some of you out there are new to doing nails, and this may not be an easy task for you. And you guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't do a lot of smile lines, so I do kind of have to practice and kind of warm up. But I am going to show you just a really quick trick here once this nail sets, how to really perfect your smile line. So if you're having a challenge sculpting that smile line in and you can't quite get it absolutely perfect, I'm going to show you a trick, okay? Now here's the thing, you guys. The slick pour, these are acrylics. That's what we're using them as today. But they are a very slow setting product because they have so much pigment to them. So if I were to be doing this nail, and I'm showing you the trick that I'm going to be doing in just a second, I have to make sure that this product is completely set and dry in order to do this trick, okay? I don't have an extra 4 minutes that I want to just sit here and wait to show you guys how this dries. So I have created, before our live stream here, I did create a second nail so that I could show you guys this trick without having to wait. Because I know you guys you get antsy, and I feel the antsiness today. So I did create, by the magic of television, magic of the internet. All right, let me pop my form off of this one. By the magic of the internet, I created another nail to work on that is completely set. Okay, so basically we're at the point of where we are right here on this nail here. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So this nail is exactly what we did here, but now it's completely set. This one is still soft and tacky. So what I'm gonna do to really perfect my smile line, if you need to, grab a brand new 150 grit file. And oops, where's my new file? There's my new file. So when you use a file, anytime you use a file, you always wanna kind of soften up the edges on this file. But this is the only time that I'm going to tell you, do not take the sharp edges off of this file. You actually want that really good grit to the edge of your file. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take that file and I'm going to really kind of keep that file perpendicular to the edge of my product. So kind of at an angle this way. So making sure that your product and that file come together straight. Okay, I'm just going to file my edges here. Actually, guys, I'm going to take this nail off because I'm kind of poking into it. There we go. Okay, now you can see there. So again, keeping that file straight along those edges, straightening out my smile line, rounding in that point. And you guys, this is how you're going to perfect that smile line if you didn't quite get it perfect in sculpting, okay? So again, if you're new to doing smile lines, or if maybe you just don't do a whole lot of them on a regular basis, it helps to kind of have this little trick up your sleeve to where you can make everything perfect if you didn't quite get it perfect on the sculpting, okay? So just going to make sure everything is nice and smooth here. And you guys also make sure that your corners come to the same length. There's the same height, okay? You want to make sure that one's not higher than the other or lower than the other. So again, making sure those are nice and straight, okay? All right, let me grab my brush. I'm going to dust this nail off, get all of that off of there. Now, if you have any of that natural nail showing through, and if you feel like you need to, you can go back in with a little bit more of that protein bond right around that natural nail. Now, I am dabbing off a good amount of that product because I don't want to flood that on there. But just in case, if you have natural nail showing, you can put a little bit more of that protein bond on there, just in case for adhesion. Okay. All right, let's grab our colors now. So the colors that I was showing you guys earlier, let's see, we've already used the baby, so we're going to set that one off to the side. We've got our Kitty Blitz. We've got our Flash and Burn. We've got, you guys, I don't know if I'm going to use Pasta, but I'm going to set that one out just in case. And then also Desire Blitz and Whitest White. So these are all the colors that I may use. I'm just going to have them out here just in case, kind of however I feel, whatever I feel like grabbing here. All right, so I'm going to start. Let me readjust the camera so you guys will be able to see this. I'm going to start, oops, where'd my nail go? There it is. Okay, I'm going to start with a little bit of that sparkly color. I'm going to grab a little there. And you guys, I'm just picking up small pearls. I can drain them out if I need to. I'm going to set this one right down at that smile line and just start to kind of blend that back up into that corner. Now I'm going to apply these fairly thin. I'm going to use the point of my brush to get that product all the way back up into that corner. And then just kind of start to bring that around the smile line, maybe kind of blend it out. This is going to be a design that it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? This is something I'm just adding color wherever I feel like I want to add color. I'm going to set that again right around that smile line, bringing that back up into the corner using the point of my brush to tuck that all the way back in. I think I'm going to need just a little bit more, just a tiny little pearl right there. Set that back up into that corner, tucking that all the way back up in. Now, you guys, you're going to start to see, I may get a little bit of that color up over the nail body area, and that's okay, okay? When we're doing our smile lines like this, what's going to happen is if I show you this nail from the side, do you see how our nail body area kind of ramps up like that, and then it drops down to where our free edge is? What's going to happen is we're going to put our color on here, and then we're going to fill in, and any product that gets up over the surface of this part is going to file off. Okay, so we're not going to worry about any product that gets up over there. It's going to file out. You're not going to have to worry about it at all. Okay, all right. Let's grab a little bit of that Kitty Blitz. And this one I'm going to leave a little bit on the wetter side so I can just kind of blend that in. Just kind of tap that in, blending colors however you guys want to blend your colors. But if you're blending, you want to make sure that you're leaving that pearl a little on the wetter side. Let me come in. There you go. Now you can really see. By leaving that pearl a little on the wetter side, that's going to help it to kind of blend out a little bit better and kind of blend into your last color. So however you want to apply your colors, set them on there. I think I'm going to grab a little bit of that Whitest White. Let's just kind of bring that in right in through here. And again, you guys, leaving that pearl a little on the wetter side is going to help to kind of let it flow a little bit more. And maybe if we take a little bit of the Flash and Burn just for a little bit of sparkle right in through here. And what do you guys think? Should we add a little bit more of the Kitty Blitz or should we add a little bit more of the Desire Blitz? Let me know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you want a little bit more of this tan color or a little bit more of the red color? What do you think? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. I think I feel like I need a little bit more of that red in there. Red, yep, okay, you guys. I like how you guys are thinking. Let's add a little bit more of that red down in there. Good call, everybody. But you know what? Just for the heck of it, maybe a little bit more of that Kitty Blitz. There we go. Oh, you guys, what do you think? I think I'm liking that. I really think I'm liking that. Maybe a little bit more red down in there. Okay. Yes. I think you guys, what do you think? Do you like that? Throw some red hearts in the chat if you're liking how this is looking. And you guys make sure also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Join our community, get some great free education, and join us. All right, I'm gonna just kind of touch up a couple of little areas here with just small, tiny little pearls, just to make sure I've got enough color on there. But again, if we still take a look from the side, you can still see how much that drops down. We haven't filled in that whole entire free edge, and that's okay. That's exactly what we want. So I'm going to close up my colors here because I don't want to spill anything, but I think I'm done with my colors. And then we're going to fill in the rest of that surface with our clear. So we want to make sure that we're building up structure of this nail. And we're not going to build it with our colors, but we're going to build that with the clear. Okay. Somebody says, too much like a candy cane. Well, you know what? I guess Christmas or the holidays are going to be coming back around. So again, you guys, this color would be great for the holidays as well. So yeah, kind of candy cane-ish. I kind of like that though. All right, I'm going to grab a clean table towel here. We'll get our speed clear again. So that same color that we built out the extension with. And I'm going to pick up a pearl of this. Press, bounce, bounce, bounce. This one I'm going to drain just a little bit of the liquid, not all of it. I want it to flow a little bit, but not completely like their first one. So I'm just going to kind of blend that back up to our up into those little corners there. And then I'm going to press this down to blend that out down the nail. Now, you guys, I see a little bit of an air pocket right in front of that smile line, so I wanted to press into that. I'm not sure if you guys noticed that or not, but I did want to kind of poke into that to make sure that that air bubble didn't set in there. So now, because I had to kind of press in there, I am going to add a little bit more product right up in that, right in front of that smile line. So again, just kind of drain out just a little bit of that liquid and blend that back, filling in that space, and then we'll pull the rest of that forward. And again, you guys remember, any product that gets up over that smile line, I'm not going to worry about because it is going to file off. Now I'm going to pick up a smaller pearl. Again, drain that out just a little bit. I'm going to set that right down at my free edge just to make sure that I've got all of my color encapsulated. I'm going to press that all the way down to the end. And then I'll just gently blend that back. And what blending this backwards is going to do is it's going to really taper that free edge and make it nice and thin, so that we've got just a nice thin free edge, so that my client will still be able to pick things up and be able to use her nails. And then I think I need a little bit more product just right back here in my corners. So again, I'm going to pick up just a small pearl, drain that out, set that right into the corner, and blend that back up into that corner, and then blend back down into the rest of the nail. Now, I know some of you are probably sitting there in the chat thinking, whoo, that is a crazy looking nail. That's a chunky looking nail. And it may not look so pretty at this point, but you guys, once we do our filing, all of this nail is going to file out beautifully. We're going to have a beautiful smile line in there, and we're going to have a gorgeous Valentine's nail. Okay. So at this point, we do need to let this nail set up. We need to let it cure. Now, somebody asked, do you use the UV light? When you're working with acrylics, you don't need to use the UV or LED light to cure it. Acrylics do cure on their own. They dry on their own, just with the air. So with acrylic, you don't need to cure that, but if you are doing a design or a nail with gel, that you would need to use the UV LED light. Now, to finish this nail, I will be using a gel top coat. So we're going to use a gel top coat, and this does need to cure in the light. Okay, so we will get to the light at some point, but this one, we're just going to let it dry on its own. We'll set that off to the side. Now, as this is drying, I am going to go through and clean out my brush. I just kind of go through and kind of dab my brush into my liquid to just rinse anything out. And as I do work, I will kind of just let my brush sit in there, or maybe if I'm trying to pinch in a C curve or anything else, you know, cleaning up my station, I do let my brush sit in that liquid for a little while. So this way, any of that acrylic that may be in my brush will kind of soak out. And then I will clean this out again, just kind of pressing into the Dappen dish. I'm going to wipe my brush on both sides. Now, you guys, I actually give that a good wipe. Let me come back down here so you can see. There we go. And I want to make sure that I'm wiping my brush on a clean area. You can see on my towel, I've wiped my brush kind of in some of these other random spots. So I'm actually going to even grab a new towel or a clean towel so that I've got a clean place to wipe my brush on. This way, any of that little bit of acrylic that may be stuck in my brush is going to come out. And again, you want to make sure you're wiping, not just dabbing. Okay. Anytime if you just dab, a lot of times what happens is that'll just push that product back into the nail. But if you wipe your brush, it's going to really pull any of that acrylic out of the nail or out of the brush. Okay. After I clean it out, I put just a little bit more liquid in there, wipe it out again, and then I'm going to roll my brush back to a point. So this way my brush is going to stay nice and clean and intact for my next use. Okay. All right, let's set that off to the side. I'm going to cap up my liquid here, and we'll set that off to the side. Throw away all my towels. And you guys, make sure that as you're working, clean up as you go. So this way, any of your towels that have any of that product on them are going to go in the trash, and you're not going to be breathing in that extra acrylic. Okay, so just another quick little hint. I'm going to grab my dust collector here. You guys can't quite see what I got there, but I've got my dust collector here. I'm going to turn that around. And let's check our nails here. Come in a little bit better. All right, so it's still just a little bit soft. Now, if I tap back here, you guys can kind of hear, and actually let me grab my brush. You can hear a little bit easier. When you tap with your brush and you hear that sharp click, that means that our product has set, okay? If we tap down here, we don't quite hear, we hear maybe a little bit of a thud. That's not quite set yet, okay? So that's gonna help you kind of understand when your product is set versus when it's still a little bit soft, okay? But as we're waiting here, you guys, this is a great opportunity for you to hit that subscribe button, and our moderators are reminding you that we have over 3,000 videos here in our YouTube library. So all of this free education is for you guys. So subscribe to the channel, get that great education. If you are a nail tech, if you are a nail enthusiast, if you just want to do your own nails, we've got great education for you here. So make sure to subscribe. All right, so our nail is almost set, just a little bit soft right down here on the end, but that's okay. We'll get started here. Now I'm going to switch my bit from our sanding bed that we were using earlier, and I'm going to use that ceramic cone bit. And this one is, you guys, those of you that are kind of regulars to our channel, normally you see me using our X-Cut or I'm using our safety bit. These are a very similar grit. They're both kind of that, they both have the teeth to them. So this one though is a ceramic bit and just a little bit of a different shape. So personal preference, which one you're using. I do want to show you this one because this is the one that comes in the bundle deal with the e-file. So I just want to make sure you guys see that bit and see how to use it. So I'm going to turn my e-file on here to about 15,000 RPMs. Let's turn our dust collector on here. And we're going to start by just straightening out our sidewalls. So I'm going to come straight down my sides here, pulling that bit down those edges, tapering in those sides so that everything gets nice and straight. Okay. Same thing on the other side though, we're going to push that bit back. Push that back, straightening out those sidewalls. I'm going to turn the nail on the side. We're going to clean up our lower arch. Again, just pushing straight back on my right side here. On the left side, we're going to turn that. I'm going to pull that bit down. So you always want to make sure that you're working with your bit and you're pulling your bit in the opposite direction that the bit is rotating. So that way you're going to get a little bit of resistance rather than your bit just kind of flying right over that nail. Okay. All right, again, just kind of tapering that in. All right, I think we're good on the sides. Now you guys, this is where I really like that little bit of more of a tapered bit, right up by that cuticle area. I'm going to come right through there and really thin out and taper in that cuticle. So that way our product is going to just flow right down to that natural nail. Right up around that cuticle. Okay, I'm just going to work right down the barrel of the nail, or sorry, right down the arch of the nail. And now we're going to take down that bulk. And remember when I was saying that any of that product that's up over the surface of our nail body here is going to file off? You guys, look at how nice and crisp that smile line is going to be. Okay, so again, any of that product that was up over the surface is going to file off. Okay, let's turn our nail. We're going to look down the barrel this time. And I'm going to pull my bit all the way down through that arch. I want to make sure my nail is on here really well. There we go. Thinning that out a little bit, tapering that down a little bit, taking down that bulk, down those sides, all the way through. So now you can start to see the body of that nail is really nice and contoured, nice and rounded. And just take that down just a little bit more. All right. Somebody's asking if I have the tornado bit, could I show it? Yeah, give me just a second. Let me do one last pass over this just to make sure everything is even. And let me see here. Turn that off. All right, let's see here. Okay, so those of you that were asking about the tornado bit, here is up close and personal. You guys, the tornado bit it's kind of similar in shape towards the top part of the bit, but it does come more, I like to call it a Christmas tree. It looks like a Christmas tree to me. So it's a little bit wider at the base, but then more narrow at the top. Now you guys, this bit is a very coarse bit. So this one I would really recommend if you're working, maybe if a client comes in and they've got MMA product on and you're trying to file that off, this one's going to take it down really easily. You can definitely use this over acrylics, but it is very, very coarse. So it is going to take your product down really quickly. Now, I probably wouldn't use this on a gel nail right away. Guys, let me see if I've got another one here Okay, so here's another one that I've worn down a little bit. You can see it's kind of lost its color a little bit, but this one's worn down. So at this point, then I might use that on my hard gels. I definitely wouldn't use it still on a gel polish, but you can use that on your gels once it's worn down. If it's a brand new one, I would say it's probably way too coarse to be working on a gel, on a hard gel. Okay. And you guys, if we take a look, so if you take a look, there's some people asking, is this left-handed or right-handed? Now, you guys, I'm going to be honest, it's coarse enough to where you could use it on either one. But if we take a look, I'm going to get really close in here. If you can see, do you see how the kind of the teeth, I'm going to call them teeth, of your bit are rotating? When it's a right-handed bit, they're going to be rotating clockwise. Okay. If it's a left-handed bit, they're going to be rotating counterclockwise. Again, looking down from the shank. Okay. So if you look at your bits and you see that they are basically straight, that they're kind of, I guess it's hard to show on camera, but if they're coming out straight instead of curved, that means that it's a universal. Okay. But again, the right-handed bits are going to curve to the right. A left-handed bit is going to curve to the left. You guys let me know in the chat. Did that make sense? Let me know. I hope that did. Because I think there's a lot of people that, you know, we just kind of assume that all bits are maybe universal or, you know, that you can use any bit left-handed or right-handed. And you kind of can, but it's going to be easier to use a left-handed bit if you're a lefty and a right-handed bit if you're a righty. And we do have bits for both left-handed and right-handed techs. So make sure that you're using what you need to make life a little bit easier. Okay. All right, let's turn our dust collector back on here. Now I did switch back to my sanding band. So I am going to turn my E-file back down to about, let's say about 7,000 or 8,000 RPMs. And we're just going to use this one to kind of refine a little bit more. So coming up around that cuticle area, down along those sides. I'm going to come back from all of those same views that we were working with our ceramic bit. Now I'm just going to refine. Just refining, smoothing out any ledges, any edges, making sure everything is as tapered and clean with my file as I can. Now you could go right to your hand file and skip this step, but personally I like to use my e-file for as much as I possibly can. So this way I do less filing by hand. Using the e-file is going to be a lot better for your hands, your wrists, your elbows, all of those different things. So the less you have to do by hand, the better it's going to be and the easier it's going to be. Okay. All right, you guys. Now, this brand new file that I used for cleaning up that smile line, I do want to make sure that I take those sharp edges off. So I'm going to grab my prep file. And you guys, I always have a file that I just use for prep, so I label it as prep. I'm going to run that flat across the top of my new file. I'm going to angle that file just slightly, catch that corner. Same thing on the other edge, catch that corner. So this way I know my file is nice and safe and I'm not going to cut my client or their skin, or if I'm working on myself, I'm not going to cut myself. So again, just making sure to take off all of those sharp edges. Yeah, let's come back in here. We're going to go back to our perimeter like we started. We're going to straighten out those sidewalls. Turn that on the side, catch my lower arch, make sure my lower arch is nice and straight and coming straight out from that finger. I'm not angling my file into the corner here, so keeping that straight out. And you guys, as I'm filing, especially when you're working on longer nails like this, you always want to counterbalance. So notice that when I was filing on the side, I put my file here, but I have my thumb here to kind of counterbalance that so that nail's not wobbling back and forth. Same thing on my right side. I'm going to use my finger here to counterbalance so that that finger's not wobbling back and forth. Okay. I'll turn that on the side. Again, I'm going to put pressure on the top of the nail, filing straight out. If you aren't putting counter pressure on the top, you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on that extension, and it's going to be kind of uncomfortable for your client. So make sure that you're always counterbalancing wherever you're filing. Okay. Catch that side. I'm going to catch that side just a little bit more. All right, I think we're good there. And then we're going to round and kind of taper in that cuticle area, taper in our sides, making sure everything is nice and rounded, nice and contoured. Same thing, I'm still using those fingers to balance. Okay. Same thing over on the side here, balancing. And then I'm going to turn this finger again, supporting from underneath. I'm going to kind of just blend that backwards, just like we were using our brush, just to kind of blend and thin out that free edge. Okay, all right. I'm going to turn that hand around. We're going to take a look. So it looks like my nail's a little bit lopsided here, but we're just going to straighten that out. And you guys, the reason that I always look from this direction to finish my nails is because this is how my client is going to see her nails. So always turn that client's hand around so that you can see exactly the shape that she's going to see. Okay. And I think some people were asking, where can I get the trainer hand? You guys, everything that I'm using here is Young Nails, so youngnails.com. We've got a great sale going on. All of the colors that I used in today's nail are part of the Slick Pour bundle. So you can get all 6 of these colors and a bottle of monomer for $35, I believe, which is a huge deal. So make sure to check that out. And I'm just going to look backwards down the barrel of this nail. This is how I'm really going to make sure everything is contoured, everything is smooth. I don't have any last little lumps or bumps. I'm just kind of flowing my file all the way through that whole structure of the nail, making sure everything is nice and even. Okay, we're going to look, kind of rocking that finger down. Looks like I've got a little bit of a high spot right over there. Check that edge one more time. And then I'm going to perfect that shape. And then, who knows what time it is? Those of you that have been in our community here for a while, you guys know what time it is. If you are new to our channel, first of all, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit that little subscribe button. But at this time, it is time for our top coat. So we're going to do our top coat chant in the chat if you're ready for that. And we're going to dust off our nail, get that nice and clean, all dust free, even underneath there. I'm going to use my swipe one more time. I'm going to pump that onto my brush. We're going to clean that nail off. And now you guys, you really can start to see the depth of that design. So beautiful smile line. A lot of fun color in there. And we're going to come back with one more coat of our protein bond. We're going to do one coat on this whole nail, and this is going to really help to adhere our top coat. Now you guys notice I didn't buff this nail at all. We don't need to. When you're applying a gel top coat, that gel really does need that kind of that textured surface to adhere to. Okay. All right, you guys, today I'm going to change it up a little bit. A lot of times you see me using the Ultimate Finish top coat because it's one of my favorites. It's super easy, it's tack free. But today I'm going to show you guys the stain resistant top coat. Now, stain resistant top coat is amazing, especially when you're working on nails that may have lighter colors like this, or if you've got a client or yourself who may be a hairdresser and working with color, hair color. You guys, I was telling the story earlier on our Twitch stream. I had a brand new pair of jeans on the other day and my hands turned blue. And if you have nails that have a different top coat on, those nails can absorb stain or color and things from your clothing. So by using the stain resistant, this will actually help to keep those nails from discoloring. Like I was saying, discoloring from either hair color or from dyes from your fabrics, things like that. So stain resistant is going to be an awesome, awesome product. It is on a BOGO deal on our website, you guys. So great time to stock up on this. If you are a hairstylist or if you work on hairstylists or if you have your hair colored, it's a great option. Now, you guys, I do want to mention that stain resistant, it is a hard gel, so this is only really recommended for use over enhancements. We don't recommend using this on just a regular, like a natural nail gel manicure. It does get too hard and it can crack if it's just on a natural nail. Okay, so make sure that you're only using this on your enhancements. Okay, and I do have this in the light curing for a full cure of 60 seconds. When it does come out, it looks like it is done now. It does have a tacky surface to it, so you do want to cleanse that tacky surface. I'm going to go back to our swipe, take a little bit of that on, oops, sorry guys, there we go. Take a little bit of that on my lint-free wipe, and we will cleanse off that tacky surface, and that will be left with that really nice high shine. Now, one thing that I do with my top coat, my stain resistant especially, is I actually will go through, you saw me use one wipe on there, I will go through and wipe it a second time with a clean wipe just to really make sure that I get all of that tacky surface off. Because with that stain resistant top coat, it does have a good amount of tack to it. And if you just give it just a quick wipe like that, it's gonna you're probably gonna still have a little bit of residue. If you notice that the nail isn't quite shiny, it's probably because you had a little bit of that residue on there still, okay? So make sure to give it a really good wipe. And then you guys also, I always forget to show you guys this on camera, but make sure that you're finishing your nails, especially this time of year with the rose oil. This is really going to help to keep your cuticles hydrated. It's going to help to keep that nail nice and flexible. It's going to help to keep that natural nail underneath nice and flexible. So make sure that you are rehydrating and using that cuticle oil, especially in these drier months like we're in right now. All right, you guys, those of you that weren't trusting the process earlier, I hope that you did trust the process through the whole demo. And you guys, again, all of the different colors that I used in today's demo, these are part of our Slick Pour bundle that we've got during our sale right now. And you get those six, where's my sixth one? There we go. We get the 6 colors and then also the bottle of the 6-ounce bottle of monomer, all for $35. So make sure if you haven't checked out our sale already, check that out at youngnails.com. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, join our channel here. The more you guys subscribe, the more we're able to offer all of this free education for you. So I hope you enjoyed our demo today. Hopefully you guys will give this a try and enjoy your Valentine's inspired nail today. Thanks everybody. We'll see you back next time.